Welcome to the Narrate podcast, where we aim to tell God's story with our lives. We'll be continuing to post the Sunday message each week, but we want to dive a little deeper and offer some content to supplement your life with God, and that's where our Beyond Sunday series comes in. Join Adam and Narrate staff as they provide thoughtful discussions, ideas, and interviews that go beyond the message you'll hear on Sunday.
Sitting with Marla, who's recently joined our council, which is very fun, and you've now had one council meeting.
Yes.
And we gathered with Ben to talk church planning with staff that could make it and council that could make it. So, what are you feeling and thinking about council right now? Because I know you're take it all in. So as you're taking in right now, what are you thinking?
Yes, I'm very much a take it in and maybe kind of a slow responder. I feel good. It's nice to get back to just hearing about things, knowing about things, learning about things in regard to Narrate. So that's kind of fun to get back to that.
Because you had a season of that on staff.
Yeah, on staff, right. I feel good about it. And the first council meeting, of course, you don't really know what to expect. It was very comfortable because all of the people are amazing. So that was good because I'm not a huge group person. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just like until you get to know people. But a lot of these people I know at least a little bit. So that's helpful. So yeah, so far feeling really good. And
how long have you been at Narrate? I mean, as you say that, because you've known all those people, but you and your family have been here for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but it's 10-ish years.
Okay.
So.
And you're on staff for
2.5.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Been around a while.
So you really, it's funny that I wouldn't have pegged you as someone who loved having the information, but that's part of what you missed about being on leaving staff.
Yeah, I did miss that a lot. Just, I don't know. There's something about just knowing that is affirming and, I don't know, just makes you feel good being in the know, I guess. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't have pegged you. Because your persona would just be like, I'm fine. I don't care. Don't care in a negative way.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do anything with it or,
you just like to know.
I do like to know.
So in the nomination to application process, what surprised you?
Well, it surprised me that I got nominated. And, I guess I figured if, somebody felt like my voice was worth being heard, then, I'm a very strong believer in serving. And if that's a capacity that God wants me to serve in, then very happy to do so. So I thought, well, I'll apply. But then once again, very surprised that my name got drawn. Happy, it was all good, but I was surprised.
See, what I love about this is I would attribute some of even this process to you, because you were one of the first people to kind of get in my ear in a positive way around that room needs to be opened up and there needs to be more voices and, people need to know more about what's going on. So it's a weird orchestration of God, I think.
That's kind of how I felt. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm honored that God has the confidence in me that my name got drawn, So, but yeah, very much a surprising thing on all levels of that.
What are you looking forward to?
I don't know. I think looking forward to having my voice heard, and it may not be a real strong thing in most instances, but if I do have a voice, it can be heard. So yeah. I like that aspect of it. And of course I like the community, just growing in community, and it's always healthy. Yeah. So
has it changed? And this sounds like a leading question, and no is okay, but yes is okay. I've heard different things from different council people over the years on this. Has it changed the way you sit in a service, experience a worship gathering?
Being on council?
Yeah, just like having that headspace. Have you noticed anything different there?
I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit more of a positive bent towards, just really listening and absorbing maybe a little bit more. I don't know, you say a lot, it's better to have a job and when you're doing things, and I think it, I don't know, gives me a little bit of a confidence boost or something. So yeah, I think it has had a positive impact.
I've heard it sometimes that's become burdensome to people, and other times it's a blessing. So
yeah, I may not be far enough in it
Sure.
yet to really, have a big take on that, but
man, where I was so encouraged by because that first meeting we've had was a few weeks ago, and then that thing we did on Friday is when Jim passed. There were so many meetings where it was just impossible to find traction and identity. I'm sure it must be what it's like when a parent dies, or it must be what divorce is like, just all those like deep grieving moments where like the room was struggling. They were still working hard, and I don't want to malign, like, not everybody who was left behind is chopped liver. It wasn't like that, but it was just this, we really struggled to have identity. And then when we added Greg and Jolynn and Jody last year, kind of by way of the old process, that really helped.
Just bringing in some newness, you think?
Yeah, I think the room, but still it wasn't there. And then I just feel like now with you and Chris in the room at this last meeting, and some of it's time, I'm sure, and then the thing on Friday is just like, I don't want to say like I didn't even think about that, but just this sense of like, oh, it's a new room and it's vibrant, and a couple of those longtime council people who still are on, I've heard from both of them unsolicited of like, this is so good. And
oh, good. Yeah.
So,
well, you guys were literally grieving. That's
for sure.
That's a process.
We were grieving, and as I've said before, like I wouldn't. Maybe a few years ago we should have changed it, but I'm so grateful. I was just talking with a church planting friend this last week who was like 5 years in, maybe 6 to a plant, and I was like, man, I'd be careful with the rotating the council thing. I mean, on some level you have to in certain bylaws, but so I don't have much regret over the way we did it, but it feels very right. But I mean, there was just such a great season with Jim. Anyway, this isn't about that. I've kind of suddenly turned it towards that.
Yeah, but that's good that you have a high comfort level with that.
Yeah, I think it's a great room, and I think the thing that I'm excited about and challenged by is something I feel like I made this about myself, but I'll finish this thought and I'll turn it back to you. Is it does seem clear that I'm going to have to constantly recast vision for who we are and who we aren't, like what the council's role is and what it isn't. But that's not a bad thing. That's just that's the reality in most situations and most jobs and we just had this luxury of for almost 10 years there wasn't a lot of turnover, and then we had this really strong patriarch who was both very strong but not at all overbearing,
right,
who now I just see as kind of sent by God to help kind of establish a culture, and we shared a vision for that culture. But so now we're just in a different season, but I think it's really a great one.
Yeah.
Did your family have any response to you joining council? Was that uncomfortable for them or exciting for them?
No, not uncomfortable at all. It was just really positive feedback from all of them. Of course, they know that, they always have to give me that confidence boost because I'm not always the most confident person. And so
really?
yeah.
You're not confident?
No, not a super confident person.
Really?
Yeah, no.
See, you come across as very self-assured to me. Like just
good.
Steady and
That's good. Yeah. No, they were very, very encouraging. So that was nice.
What parts of you are they excited to have in that room?
I think that they know my administrative bent, which is kind of annoying sometimes, but it is what it is. That's, I guess, where more of my gifting lies. So I think that they think that that's probably a pretty good asset.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I think that they just encouraged me, to your voice being heard, because I'm definitely a person who will not speak out necessarily all of the time, especially if there's not space in the room. And
Sure.
So just a lot of encouragement there from them. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I want you, like even where I was kind of teasing you on that church planting thing, like, what's your question, Marla? Like, I was thinking, I almost followed up with you, so I guess I will here, is like, that's not a frustration that you don't speak up, but also there is this, so I want you to feel really comfortable taking it all in,
Yeah.
but also...
Yeah, and that's really what
encourage you
that was for me, and all of the questions that would have popped up for me were getting asked, and so really didn't have a lot more in the form of questions. Anyway.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
There's when we went to Israel, I learned that even in like ancient shepherding, there's always, I forget all of the details. I think they would attach a bell to the lead sheep, and they were just saying like they always had to have a sheep who would go first, and their point was to say, Peter is much maligned by the way we read the Bible, because he comes across as obnoxious and overbearing, but they're like, that was just someone had to play that role.
Sure.
And
Or there has to be that role, or nothing would ever get done.
Right. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, my hope isn't that you'll play that role. I think we have the people who will play that role, but at the same time to tease out, like, okay, so when you have a thought, to know that it's very welcomed.
Yeah.
Which I think will be, yeah. You have been through a lot of different seasons and through turbulent waters. And I remember when we were in actually the nomination room, I think I've told you this, but one of the people who would have had greater context for all of that was like, what do you think about Marla being on council? And my response was, and this is about you, not about me, my response was, I think everything you need to know about Marla is the fact that she's still in the room.
Yeah.
And I mean that, and I'm thankful for that. Why are you still in the room?
That's an interesting question. It was a little hard there for a bit. Literally the Holy Spirit, I will have to say. Yeah.
Say more about that.
I was listening to a message, and you gave it. I have no idea what it was about. I do not recall.
Tends to be how that goes.
Yeah. But spoke very, very heavily to me, and I literally felt like the Spirit said, Marla, you're going to grow more by staying than by leaving. And like it was like, whoa. And it wasn't like, the audible voice. It was just that very strong inner feeling. And I had been, just saying, Lord, if you want me to go, let me know. And that's kind of where I was at. And I was wrestling with a lot of things. And then I got that. And that's when I kind of just, made peace.
How have you seen that? Have you seen God deliver on that since that point? I mean, I don't know how far back that was. Do you feel like you have grown?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole ladies fellowship thing, that was something for me where I was like, okay, Marla, don't focus on things that might have been negative in the past. Focus on what is a need. What can you possibly do to make things better in some way, instead of, dwelling on certain things. So that's kind of what it led to. And
that's become like this a pretty big success.
Yeah, we just kind of feel like if one person shows up, it's a success, because we just went into it with no expectations whatsoever.
But it's not one person, and it's also not one age and stage.
No. Yeah, we have some 20-somethings. We have people in their 70s, 60s, 70s. Like, so yeah, there's a big widespread, and I think it's great. I love it when things are diverse, and you have different ages in the room, and they can mentor. They can, when you see friendships form with that diversity, I just think it's great. I just think that that's how it's meant to be in the church. So hopefully, you don't reach everybody, and a lot of people have really busy lives, and it's just hard. And that's why we don't want to do anything that really builds on itself. It's just this
bunch of
month it's
one-offs.
this. Yeah. And if you can make it, wonderful. If you
Yeah.
can't, that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the active part of, in general, you guys are doing something. I think that's genius, because I do think that's our demographic. That even came up in that last council meeting. Is we are just a crew. I was saying to somebody last time I went to Billings, I had this thought of like, there's no bike racks, and I was telling a friend here, I was like, when I go to Billings, I don't see any bike racks on cars, and when I'm in Helena, I see a bike rack on the back of every car.
Yeah.
And he said, Adam, that's because you live downtown. I think if you lived in other parts of Helena, it wouldn't feel as overwhelmingly bike. And so that I only bring that up to say, like, while we want to reach all people and create opportunity for everybody, I think what you're doing caters more generally to the demographic, which are people who, they don't just want to sit and talk, they want to do something. And you guys have done, like, painting. Was that just last night?
That was last night.
And there's like over 20 people there, I heard.
Yeah, there was 20. I think I counted in the picture because I didn't count last night. I think there was 20 people there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was great, and we were laughing, and it was just a really fun, good time. I think people really enjoyed it.
Is the organization and orchestration of that for you? Is that arduous, or does that come pretty is it fulfilling or is it draining?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Both.
So it is somewhat of a both.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is my own fault for trying to just do stuff in my own power, and not giving a lot of it or enough of it to God and inviting Him into it as much as I should be doing.
In terms of like coming up with the right idea, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just ideas and energy, motivation, just all of that stuff. Because I really feel like it's what I'm supposed to be doing. I felt a pretty strong calling on that.
Wow.
And I don't know, you just kind of get a little burnt out, after a while. But and I'm not saying that I'm just totally burnt out and in a bad place, not by any stretch. But I think that I just need to, just be in prayer about it a little bit more.
And from the outside, it seems like you do have some mutuals that are kind of like Moses is holding up your arms there. Is that true?
Yeah.
Like some people who are in the trenches with you.
For sure.
What strikes me about those is like, if you know that at least this person's going to be there.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And Gay and Karen help and, definitely have inputs and then we just have a crew that's there most of the time. Really? Yeah, which is great, and that we can run things by and get their opinions and stuff. So that's super helpful.
So at least twice you've referenced just a sense of clarity from God. You mentioned the Holy Spirit. Like what are your practices that keep you healthy and abiding, connected?
I say this with I should be doing better. I'm certainly not perfect at this.
Are you a 1? Are you?
No, I'm a 9.
Oh, so you must have a strong 1 wing.
But yes, I have a very strong 1 wing.
Because
I'm very much a perfectionist.
Self-hatred in you.
Yes, yeah. I'm very much a perfectionist. So definitely prayer.
When you just walk us through like for lack of to use an over sophisticated phrase, like your rule of life, like what is your, in a given week or month or day, what's your stuff, like this is the stuff I do to stay connected?
I do a prayer app. I'm not faithful every morning. But I do a prayer app that I really enjoy. I do that, kind of while I'm doing breakfast. I'm not very good about getting up.
Something you listen
earlier.
to? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Lectio 365.
Oh, wow.
Pete Gregg is one of the, and Tyler Staten.
Oh, okay. So Tyler from...
Yeah, there's a group of people that have put that out.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a free app. It's, really good. So I do that, usually am praying on the way to work. And then I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of John Mark Comerc and Practicing the Way.
Okay.
And
driving, when do you tend to listen to those?
I listen to them when I'm doing stuff around the house.
Okay.
And sometimes walking, but I'm trying hard to not always have one going when
Right.
I walk, because I really feel like you've got to get in silence.
Totally.
That's huge. So I have a lot of quiet in my life. I start really unraveling if I don't have that.
Okay.
So I have
And
to
for
have
you, is there a
quiet.
difference between quiet and silence?
I'm better at the silence. I guess I think more of quiet as more, am I really trying to step into God's presence? Or maybe those are backwards. I don't know.
I think it's, the language is arbitrary. It's
Yeah.
just
So, I try to be more, mindful of, okay, God, do you have anything to say to me? Like sometimes I'll say that on the beginning of my walk, and, most of the time you don't get anything, but sometimes you do. And, so yeah, but I have a lot of silence. Very good at that, but, not always the
actually being present
inviting
to it, so, yeah.
God into it. What do you have to say to me? But yeah, so those are, I have to have a lot of quiet and definitely prayer. And then I read.
How old were you before you knew that about yourself?
Oh gosh. I would say probably the last 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Because you're so busy. You're so busy with kids and life, and there isn't much. I mean, I knew that I needed quiet because I'm very much an introvert, and if I don't, I have to have that to recharge.
Is Bob an extrovert?
I don't know what Bob is.
Okay.
He's the most extroverted introvert, if he is an introvert.
Yeah.
I think he would claim to be an introvert, but he doesn't seem to unravel if he doesn't get that time to himself.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's an enigma.
You were starting to say that you read. So what is your reading habit?
I'm a bad. I have a lot of books going at once, so I'm kind of bad about that. I don't really read much fiction anymore. It's mostly, oh my gosh, I read a book by John Mark Comer, God Has a Name.
Oh,
Blew me
we did
away.
A series on that a long time ago.
So good. Did you like that? I loved that book. One of my favorites.
That's a good book. That was like early John Mark Comer.
Yeah. He's coming out with Garden City, he's re-releasing that too. I
Oh,
haven't
really?
read that one, so
I've not read it
kind of
either.
curious to read that. I love his stuff. I love Tyler Staton. Read The Familiar Stranger by him, which is about the Holy Spirit. So
really?
I've just kind of read that recently. So just interesting with Ben's message on Sunday, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's just kind of just learning, growing spiritually. That's kind of my main
That's a lot.
books that I
good for
read,
you.
but
It's just-
unfortunately I've just got way too many going at one time.
Is there a particular time of day that you tend to read?
I do before bed, which is
Okay.
not smart.
Just because for attention reasons?
Well, yeah, you're tired, and but I have to read before bed because
it's better than watching TV
yeah,
or falling asleep to TV.
yeah, it's what relaxes me and helps me sleep then. So it's not my finest hour
Sure.
by any means. So I don't necessarily read big chunks at a time, but yeah, that's sometimes I'll read during the day, but that's pretty rare.
How is this season of motherhood different for you? I mean, you're an empty nester now. Are you to the point where
So
you
weird.
enjoy that, or is it still mostly sad? Or
No, I would say for the most part I enjoy it. The house is very quiet, and that took a long time to get used to.
Okay.
Very, very long time. I love this stage. You're becoming friends with your kids, and but it's also a really hard stage because emotionally, I just take it all on. So if they're struggling with something, then I'm struggling probably 10 times worse than they are. So I don't know if that's a mom thing or if that's a me thing. I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I love this season. I mean, every season's wonderful, but it can definitely be the hardest season, I think.
How so?
Oh, I think because you go from trying to keep kids alive to just emotional. If I say this, am I going to ruin them for life? Or are they going to need counseling? It's just, there's a lot of emotional ups and downs
Sure.
with that. So I would say it's probably the hardest. Your kids are all different. You want to show up and be there for them just as each one of them needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so just a lot of pressure. You want to do it right. You want to not overspeak.
Yeah.
So Bob and I are learning that, just try to give your opinion when it's asked for.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Not always an easy thing.
No, it's not. And I remember one of mine kind of challenged me on that in the early days of his being out of the house. And I'm like, that's fair, because I don't want my parents' unsolicited opinions either.
Absolutely.
And frankly, I already know what they think about that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
super.
It's just hard when it's you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because you think that, like, yeah, but I'm not them.
Well, yeah. And my opinion is so important.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was asking me recently if it's sad, and I was like, well, only if you're being narcissistic about it. Like, I don't want to live with my mom right now, or my.
Right.
So it's like when JR goes off, when our last goes off, it's like there's a sadness, but they're not sad. So if anything, you're just feeling sorry for yourself.
Exactly. And it's what you've been working for. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have it any other way. It's
Yeah,
just an adjustment. It's just a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
Because you go from crazy to really quiet.
Yeah. What have been the joys of marriage in this season? Or how's it changed marriage in this season? Maybe I asked a leading question there.
I think it's helping Bob and I to go back to why are we together? Because for so long, and I was very guilty of this, very kid-centric, and it was too much about the kids on my end, for sure.
How much marriage did you have before you had kids?
Let's see. I was 23, about 4 years.
Okay, yeah. So,
yeah. So we had a pretty good foundation.
Kids for 20-some years.
Oh, yeah. And you're just a totally different person on the other side of it. So, so it's just kind of made us be like, what do we do now? Do we like each other? What do we do with this? So it's been good. It's been really healthy. Yeah. So, no, it's all good. I don't know. I think would I go back to all of the child rearing and all that stuff? I'm like, no, I think we're in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be part of, yeah. Good. I mean, you guys you're just such thoughtful people that I figured you were intentionally thinking your way through it, but it sounds like you are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a grief process for me.
How long was the process for you?
When Anna left.
I'm setting you up for speaking on Mother's Day of 2017 right now.
Oh goodness. When Anna went to Bozeman her first year, it was just so shocking to me because Anna was so quiet anyway. She would be in her room a lot, so I had quiet, but she was there.
It's
this
Jim,
presence in the house.
Totally.
Yeah.
Jim always used to say introverts like to be alone, but they don't like to be lonely.
Exactly. Yeah. So then Bob, who just works part-time, supposed to be working part-time, which the first year she was gone, it was more part-time. But just getting used to her being gone, and then Bob, because working out of town, that was crazy. So I would say probably for the first, I don't know, semester of that first year for her, it was like, wow. I hated it. It was just, it was weird. And
daily was a grind.
Yeah. And then I just kind of got used to the quiet, and I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of nice. I can do whatever I want.
Well, and you were a military wife, so now is it similar when he comes home now, where it's like, oh, he's back? Mm-hmm. Is it only different?
Shouldn't you be at work?
Yeah.
I've never lived that one down.
Wow. Huh. So.
Yeah. No, a little bit. Yeah. A little bit of a transition. Because then you just get used to being by yourself and doing what you want to do and whatever, and then it's an adjustment. But it's all good.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So, what excites you? You have a 3-year, and I don't want to over dramatize this, but just create the opportunity to go, as you think about the next 3 years, what are you excited about as it relates to Narrate and the future as you see it, and this 3-year tenure that you'll have on council? Does that make any sense?
No, I am excited to be a part of things. I really like just the direction that things are going. I've never, I don't have the liturgical background. I've always, I grew up kind of non-denominational and stuff. And so I really like adding, scripture and all of that stuff in. And I know that that's kind of a trigger for some people.
Sure.
I like it.
Like the psalm? Are you talking like the psalm?
Yeah,
or
the psalm. And just more scripture, and I really, really like that. I mean, I just feel like it's such a positive thing to as much as we can hear.
Did you have to learn to like it? Or was your first response like, I like it?
No, I liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I don't remember having negative feelings about that. Yeah, so no, I like the direction. I think like the people that you've brought in, like Chris and Brad and like the phenomenal speakers, and I'm really excited about the momentum and just seeing I don't know, Narrate. I just think it's going to move in a positive direction. So
cool. As someone that was on staff, how do you think about, and at the risk of creating more leading questions, but you must also, you have a different window as you watch the staff. What stands out to you?
You can sense the unity, which is really great. I mean, I think it's just a really positive thing. I feel like you guys all seem like you're in just really good places, and so that's really great to see. And everybody just seems comfortable, and like doesn't seem like there's chaos or anything that is going on. So
yeah, I
think
true.
that's yeah.
And there's parts of me that wish that you were still on staff during COVID, because I think COVID just broke us. There was just this, like, I know it broke me. On the one hand, it was really bonding. On the other hand, I think it was really important that those core elements of we like each other were in place. But at the same time, even like this Sunday, the plan was for Alyssa to get on stage. And it occurred to me as I was walking over here, having been over there setting up, I was walking to the offices at like 7, and I was like, oh wait, we don't have an extra mic. Because we had Ben here, so...
Oh, sure,
so
yeah.
Myself, Ben, Hannah, and the reader, so we only have 4 of those headset mics. I'm saying this to you as someone who used to be involved with tech. And so I texted Leslie and Alyssa and Hannah, and I was like, Alyssa can't get on stage this weekend, we don't have an extra mic. And then Leslie's like, well, we have wireless handhelds, I'll just hand her mine. And this is like, before I even was thinking, I was like, it's so tacky, like, no. And then like 3 seconds later, I was like, okay, we have extra ones. Like, you don't have to hand her yours, but okay, she can just use a handheld.
Yeah, but no one notices.
Yeah.
No one notices.
Well, and then I was intentional to go to kind of give her some instruction on, because where it gets tacky is when people, anyway. But that would be an example of, I know where it broke me, was just this sense of, I'd like to think we still have a high value for excellence, but also, frankly, I think when you're not feeling called to be in the next expression of the late modern evangelical megachurch, and that's not a shot against megachurch. I have a lot of respect for them and friends that are in them, but that when you kind of let that dream, I don't even want to say let it die, because I think if anything, it was like the burden was removed. It creates a little bit more mediating line between where that standard is. Anyway.
Helps keep the main thing.
I think so, yeah. And like I said, I process this with AJ, who you haven't met yet, but you'll get to. He's another one of these C4SO guys who we've talked about, but he's been at several mega churches and actually was, as I understand it, John Mark Homer called him first to come take Bridgetown when he was leaving.
Oh, okay.
And so what AJ and I have in common is Narrate was never a mega church, but I've worked for one, and I think in some sense we were kind of a hybrid one. And so I think one of the first questions I asked him on a phone call, because he was really kind, he was like, you ever need anything? And somehow I was trying to process just the tension between he's now at a C4SO church, that versus this megachurch background. And he said it really well. He just said, well, Adam, I think I'd always rather be doing it in this direction. Like, I'm really grateful that I was trained in this culture where excellence was the main thing. But but then now I get to strategically choose when to drop that versus had I been trained in a different environment where excellence wasn't a value. I think that'd be a lot harder.
Yeah.
So what do you see as to the extent that you do see anything, what do you see as the challenges coming down the road for us?
For Narrate as a whole?
Yeah. Or someone in specific or whatever comes to mind.
I think there's always the challenge of, the Grand Street is a great space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's perfect. I love the theater setting and everything. But there's also, it's hard. It's hard afterwards. It's hard to get that community. Mm-hmm. And I just think that that's kind of an ongoing struggle that you have to get creative on. So getting people in, getting people feeling like they're part of it, and so much of it is on them too. You have to take the step. You have to make the move.
Right.
But I think that that's one hard thing. Yeah, I don't know, and I have no idea. Like, you've seen a lot more of the C4SO stuff. I'm not sure where that will go, or if there'll be pushback. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
But campus stuff stands out to you. That's fair. It's funny. I was just looking at some stuff where our numbers are right at. Our numbers are actually above what they were when we went to 3 gatherings. In terms of.
They're above the three gatherings?
Yeah. So I was just looking at the year before we went to 3 gatherings, our September, and it would look like our October, though it's not over. We're like 10% bigger than they were the year before we went to 3.
Wow.
So I know you're not just talking about capacity of the auditorium, but just, so it'll be an interesting time to discern and just see. And that's where I so respect the language that you're using of the Holy Spirit there, of trying to trust and discern what God is doing there. And I just listened to a message that my friend Ashley Matthews gave this weekend. They're actually moving towards buying a building, and I'm not foreshadowing that that's what we're doing, but she just had a great way of saying sometimes you go for it. So they have to raise $700,000 before the first of the year to get the down payment on this building they're going to try to buy. Or I don't know if it's a down payment, but they've got a very short window to raise these funds. And so as she's explaining it to her church, she just said, sometimes in life you just have to discern that you're supposed to go for it, and I won't get the exact words she used, but she said, and then sometimes you think you were supposed to go for it and it doesn't work out, and that's okay too. And so she just had as someone who's like, she's visionary, and I've been around visionary leaders my whole adult life. I'd like to think I am one in some level, and yet I could just hear the health in her, like being visionary, but also.
But being okay if it doesn't pan out.
Exactly. It was really, and that to me would be, you brought up C4SO a little bit there, like that's what I hope people get when they hang out with Ben and Chris, Ashley, when she's here in February, is these people could legitimately be leading in whatever expression of church they wanted, as big of a church as they cared to lead. And it's not a moral thing. They're not claiming it. No one's trying to. The last thing I need to do is invalidate the megachurch. I have great respect for it. My faith really came to life in one, but it is refreshing to be around these people who could be, and they still value excellence, but they're doing it a little bit differently. And we'll see. I just tell Teresa on Sunday night, I was like, I guess what I'm realizing is I hope this connection with these guys is for. These people is for decades, but we just, like everything else, we don't control it. It's just one day at a time.
Yeah.
So, well, we are better with you in the room. That's very clear.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate those words.
Yeah. Oh man, even after that meeting, I got a text from the most senior person left of just like, this is such the right thing, Adam. Like, we're
good.
So
I'm glad everybody's feeling
grieving,
that.
But he's like, this is such the right thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the empty nest thing, right? You grieve, but you know that it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think it is going to be good. I think there's good energy, and even the spouses, like, and I know Bob wasn't able to be there on Friday, and that's fine. But I was even refreshed just by, we don't always bring council spouses in, but even that brought new energy and new life. And so, for me, I think the trick is, how do we do this? How do we say yes to this? And yet at the same time, how do we do that in a way that I really want to build a strong, like, alumni culture where people like Kyle and Steve, kind of like, I don't want them to feel what you felt when you went off staff.
Yeah.
Actually, I hadn't thought of, like, you could probably really help me there. Is like, how do we not do that? I mean, in some cases, you're going to have people that want to do that.
And then some that don't.
Right.
Yeah. But I think putting it out there and giving the opportunity, and then they can do with it what they want.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess that's what we did with this one.
Yeah, which I think is good. And, it might be a good thing for them and it may not. But I agree. Just keeping it open, the door open somehow in little ways. Yeah, they invested a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Finding these kind of poignant moments to pull people in. And I guess that's true of people in general. I mean, just the math wouldn't allow that everybody who probably wants to be on the council or would be great on the council will be.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for things like those owner gatherings and to try to be creative with how we can. I think that's what stood out to me even in the owner gathering was I'm a person who thrives on information, and yet I've still underestimated how much other people thrive on just having the information.
Right.
I think I'm too quick to assume that people are busy and, like, why do they care? But letting people opt in and out versus leaving out be a good challenge.
Yeah, over communicate.
Yes, Vern used to always say, lack of communication is the devil's playground. And,
well, it kind of is. Yeah, it just. Then people get narratives that they just run with that aren't necessarily true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you. It's very fun to have you in that room. It's weird to think May's like, it just feels like a few months away and we'll be doing this again. And you'll be a veteran.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your confidence in me. And
it's great to have you. It's fun to, like, I know you as someone who will take information, but I also know you as someone who, if you need to say it, you're going to say it to my face. And I think that's one of the things I really respect about you. So,
well, good.
Yeah. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you'd like to learn more about Narrate Church, find us online at narratechurch.org.
You can also look us up on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for listening.